Medium, stand. Upon Yakadam, turn to face the east. Oh, let's skip that. That's what it's all good. Yes, like you. How about you? Like Yashala. Medium, upon Yakadam. For it's prayer in Hebrew, you can find it in Matthew chapter 8, verse 6 through 13. It's like in chapter 6, verses 8 through 13. Abinabu, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakuka, Tabah, Batazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Marat, Kawat, Hayah, Bashemayim, the Thunganab, the Kam, Ko, Yawam, Basalakna, Kabawatna, Kasalakna, Kabawatna, Wala, Tabiana, Bansawan, Bo, Oshana, Mayun, right, Kayat, the cup, Amalakwa, Wa'al, Hata Para, Laulam,
In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us of our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not to temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. Amen.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha, Ayani, Al-Fahari, Mayan, Yaba'a, Azari, Ma'an, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'aratazah, Ayatan, Lamwa, Go, Al-Yanawam, Shamark, Ana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayishan, Shawamar, Yasha'al, Yahweh, Shamark, Yahweh, Tazol, Aliyah, Yamyam, Yawamam, Ashmat, La'a, Yakaka, Wa'arat, Layla, Yahweh, Yashmar, Makarah, Yashmar, Atnapashka, Yahweh, Yashmar, Tazat, Wabawak, Maita, Wai, Awalon.
In English, I will lift up mine eyes. Unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth thee shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. And this time forth. And even forevermore.
Prayer for the cock, the power and evil. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Babakashah. The Thundernaut. The cock. Larpa'ah. Call Makala. Call Matawa. The cock. Latahar. Amatazari. The cock. Lahaki. Amathi. The cock. Arakawat. Al-Tama'ala. The Garson. Bashim Yahushua.
In English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
Pray to bless Israel and the evil. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Barak Lanaw. Wa Yashal. Wa Bayat. Safari. Barak. Rafa'ah. Magun. At this time, you can say the name of a loved one once. Everyone repeats that name once. If you're following us on social media, you can type in the name of a loved one. Send the prayers up with you.
It's like school UPK.
Like school UPK.
IHK Minnesota.
IHK Minnesota.
All of Israel.
All of Israel.
Sapporo. Maracaibo. Yapa. Izara. Sister South Dakota. Taziat. Shirah. All the children.
All
of Israel. Desiree Davis. Kwanyala. Amungabar. Kudashayim. Kanagabar. Awesome Kabi. Tarak. All of UPK.
Bashim Yahushua.
What I'm
In English. So you should do that by myself.
No, you so loud. Don't worry about it. No, so, in English, Lord, in the name of Yahushua. Bless us in Yasha'Allah. In the school. Bless. Shield. Protect. Loved ones. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Allahayim. Adam Yalukat. All Takarat. All Tashkwa. All. Yahana. Wabika. Yahamiwan. Raj. Alamak. Yaruyam. Suwada. Uyata Yatazu. Altaza Bawanika. Amaru. Lakawa. Likakidam. Magawi. Walaya Yazakar. Shamya Sha'al. Awad. Hayya. Nawa Tazu. Labat. Yakadu. Barya. Yakarath. Ahali. Adawan. Waya Shema Aliyam. Mawab. Wagari. Kabal. Wa'amuan. Wa'amulak. Al-Shak. Amishak. Tazabu. Gamashu. Nalawa. Hamam. Ayawa. Zarwat. Abanyawa. Salah. Aishalaham. Kamali. Kasiyat Sarah. Kayabi. Banako. Yashwan. Nashmalu. Bayan the Arab. Haywa. Daman. Ladam. Shaddam. Nariyamaw. Karab. Wakazab. Wakazabak. Wakazalmanah. Karna Seakam. Shaw. Amar. Nayusha. Lanwa. Nawa. Alahayim. Alahayat. Shaitam. Kagog. Kwash. Panyuraka. Kaash. Bariyari. Wabasa Wapat. Tablan. Mala'at. Slack. Skip one. Tabariyari. Wakalahab. Talahat. Hariyam. Kanthardab. Basaru. Wabasa Wapat. Tablan. Mala'at. Panyam. Palawan. Wayabakwash. Shamka. Yahawah. Yabashu. Wayabahaw. Ayai. Wayakapar. Wayababu. Wayadaiwa. Yata. Shamka. Yahawah. Tabarka. Aywan. Al. Go. Al-Ratasa.
In English, keep not thy silence. O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace. And be not still. O Yahweh. Below. Thy enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee. Have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel. Against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, let's cut them off from being a nation. That the name of Yasha'Allah may be no more in remembrance. They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against the tabernacles of Edom. And the Ishmaelites. Moab. And the Hagarites. Gabal. And Ammon. And Amalek. The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Shore also joined with them.
So is also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Doing to them as unto the Midianites.
Doing to them as unto the Midianites.
As the sister.
As the sister.
As the Jabin.
As Jabin.
At the brook of Kison.
The brook Kison.
Which perished at Endor.
Perished at Endor.
It became as dung for the earth.
It became as dung for the earth.
Making Noah's like Horeb.
Making Noah's like Horeb.
And like Zeb.
Like Zeb.
Yea.
Yea.
All the princes as Zabak.
All the princes as Zabak.
And as Zamun.
And as Zamun.
Who said.
Let
us take to ourselves.
Let's take to ourselves.
The house of Yahweh in possession.
The house of Yahweh in possession.
Oh my power.
My power.
Make it like a wheel.
Make it like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As the flames set the mountains on fire.
As the flames set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
That they might seek thy name.
O Lord.
O Lord.
Let it be confounded in trouble forever.
Let it be confounded in trouble forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let it be put to shame and perish.
Let it be put to shame and perish.
That men may know that thou.
That men may know that thou.
Whose name alone is Yahweh.
Name alone is Yahweh.
Art the most high over all the earth.
The most high of all the earth.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
Heaven and earth.
And all things live.
All things live.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
Punishment and destruction.
Punishment and
To
destruction.
the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
Speak against us.
Like prophets.
Thy prophet.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
Princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
In the school.
In the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
Punishment and destruction.
Punishment and
To the
destruction.
heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose.
Shake loose.
The treasure of the rich of
The
Israel.
treasure of the rich of
That
Israel.
refuse to give to the
Who
school.
refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Was their riches.
To enter to thy
Into
sanctuary.
thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and
And
curses.
punishment and destruction.
Punishment and
To
destruction.
the Edomites.
The Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nation.
And the drug dealers.
Drug dealers.
Horses.
Horses.
Apprentices.
Princesses.
Planned Parenthood.
My family.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalekites, synagogues, and armies.
Like synagogues and all.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
Pope.
Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Every nation.
Skinheads.
Skinhead.
Hazakumataza.
Comitatus.
The gay movement.
Gang.
The lesbian.
Lesbians.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
United Space Program.
That's the space program.
Army. Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marines.
Marines.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airways.
And the airways.
Cable access channel.
Cable access
And the
channel.
radio
And
channel.
radio channel.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people
Convict the spirit of any of thy people.
that seek to stop us
Seek to stop
and
us.
bring swift destruction
And bring swift destruction
to all the heathen
to all the heathen
that stand in the way
that stand in the way.
or try to stop us
Or try to stop
from
us
broadcasting your words
from broadcasting your word
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet
Let
Earth.
loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro
Cause them to go to and fro.
through the earth and consume
To
them.
the earth and consume them.
Let the place shake the house of the thief
Let the plague shake the house of the thief
and the murder.
and the murder.
Let Yahweh Shai,
Let Yahweh Shai.
Michael and Gabriel,
Michael and Gabriel.
to down with flying saucers,
Come down with flying saucers.
punish all the heathen
Punish all the heathen
that come up against us
that come up against
as
us
we speak thy word.
as we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause it to be known by all.
That is, the angels that have done it.
The angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media
Cause it to be spread through the media
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause it to shake it that
In
come.
the name of Yahweh Shai,
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
thank you always.
Always.
So be it.
So be it. So out to the front. Shall be seated.
Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shai Brakadam to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shamar, Allah Shem Shai to all the sisters. All right. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. Shalom to y'all. We got the brother Trooper Kawan Allah. How you doing, Nak? And we got the sister Rakawana. How you doing, sis? All right. As you know, ISUK Minnesota Sabbath service. Once again, we are actually going to finish up Ezekiel, the 27th chapter. Then we're getting closer to the 30s that we talked about for months. Lord allow, we can get to the 30s before Passover. Hopefully, we shall see. But if not, it's going to come soon. Otherwise, you know how we do it: 7 verses in the Hebrew, and then we break it down in the English and the KJV, which is the most accurate translation, close to the Dead Sea Scrolls. All right, based on your so-called white archaeologists, am I saying that right? Scholars, your white scholars and things of that sort, based on the history. The KJV is the most accurate translation than anything else. All right. If you're reading something other than the KJV, which is the King James Version, you are not reading the Bible. All right. It's like you saying, instead of you saying shalom, you saying, shalom. That is not Hebrew. Shalom is Hebrew. All right. You want to deal with the ancient, not the modern, not the Yiddish. All right. Or any bastardized version of our language. Okay. So anyway, with that being said, whenever you're ready,
Ezekiel chapter 27, verse 28.
Oh, so like also too, share the content, like, subscribe, all of that. All right, for the algorithm. You got it, Salah.
Ezekiel chapter 27, verse 28. Kwawala. Zakuta. Kabarika. Yarashua. Mugarwashua. Mugarwashua. It's 29. Wairadua. Manuwatiam. Go. Tapashi. Mashwa. Malachiam. Ko. Kabalgia. Hayam. Al Harakaza. Yamarua. Verse 30. Since it was only like 1 or 2 verses.
Yeah.
Just finish it up.
Yeah. We already talked about that last week.
I was making sure it just says, it says it on it.
So,
I just want to make sure.
I don't think that was on. But yeah,
I just wanted to make sure.
yeah, kind of.
Verse 30.
I could change it, by the way.
Wa Hashem Yayu. Arika. Kwawalam. Uyezai Mara. Uyailu. Kaipo. Al. Rashayam.
Select it. Rasham. Bapara. Thusha Palashwa. 31. Rahaqua. Select it. Wahaqua. Wahara Kwawakia. Wahaqua Rayakua. Alika. Warakaha. Wakaga Rawa. Shakoya. Rabakawa. Aliyaka. Bamarana Pass. Masapara. Mara. Was 32. Wanashawa. Alika. Banayahan. Kuyanaha. Kuyanaha. Wakwawananawa. Aviaka. Maya. Katazawa. Karamaha. Batwaka. Hayam was 33. Batazata. Azbawanika. Maya Mayam. Hashabaita. I'm young. Rabia. Barba. Owanika. Wamai Rabika.
Hayshurata. Malachi Aratas. Verse 34. Aita. Nasabrata. Mayumyum. Bamayak.
I thought you should say bomber cloud.
Almost. Bamai Makuya. Bamai Makuya. My ma. It's like in my young. Bamai Makuyum. My young. My Rabika. We'll call Kohalika. About the Wakaka. The Palawa. It's 35. Call. Yashabia. The Ayayam. Mamawa. The Aliyaka. It's like Aliyaka. Wamalaki. Shirawa. Shira. Laimawa. Panyaham. Verse 36. Sakariam. Bahimayam. Shirakawa. Alika. Lahawata. Hayayata. Wahayanaka. Ad Awalam. Verse 36.
All right, so what's that? Christ, type it up. All right, so actually we have read another verse into the Hebrew because it's only one verse left after the 7. Might as well just get it out the way. Otherwise, next week we should be on Ezekiel the 28th chapter. All right, which is actually a shorter chapter, 26 verses. Let me see, 29, short as well. Let's see, 30, short. Damn, okay. Yeah, a lot of these next chapters are going to be pretty quick. All right, and pretty short as well, not too long. But definitely also too, like although the chapters be short, it has a lot of information, well, a lot of impactful information and wisdom in a lot of these chapters. You know what I mean? So yeah. So also too, like for brothers and sisters out there, make sure that you studying for at least an hour. If you're not intentionally, well, yeah. If you're not if you're a person who studies a little different, such as where you just want to read, or just like not read, study your actual Bible, right? Whether it be on your phone, actual physical Bible in your hand. Otherwise, you watching class and follow along. I think a good form of studying is watching classes, like UPK classes, and follow along with brothers and sisters' questions. And the questions is going to be about what is life? How do you define what life is? How do you serve the Most High? How do you cast out demons? How do you keep the high holy days? Like questions like that's going to come up all the time. You know what I mean? How do you handle this situation with your family, your friend, your husband, your wife? Those questions are going to come up. And those questions are very important because you are going to go through that one shape or form in your life. You may not think it, but it will happen to you. Like when you are a trooper, right? It's very important for a trooper to soak in all the information that they can get. And the reason being is because by the time they become an officer, all the training that they learn as a trooper, they're going to have to use as an officer. And better yet, for the rest of your life. Let's say that you are just a student, a sister, or whatever rank. Whatever it is, you're going to have to use all that information that you're soaking in until you die. If you do die, you know what I mean? If Christ has not returned, you're going to have to use all these precepts, these, these stories to apply to your life. It's one thing to talk about the Bible, but it's a better thing to apply it to your life. If you are a person who just listen to a class and just read your Bible, how Christians read the Bible, right? Because in the IHK, we don't read the Bible. We study the Bible and we teach it, all right? Practically. The Christian church, they don't do that. Those other Israelite groups, they don't do that, all right? So it's one thing to watch these classes and simply, just like, okay, John 3:16, blah, 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 you know what I mean? Oh, interracial marriage is a sin. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like you have to apply it to your life. The Bible saves lives. I don't know if you know. It stops crime. Right. It stops drug addiction. That's right. It stops alcoholism. That's right. It stops you beating on your man and your woman. It stops all type of different things. It stops that voice in your head that wants you to do the wrong thing. It stops that demon and all that filth that you've been doing recently. Whoever that pertains to, because that could be universal. You know what I mean? It stops that thing in you that, don't want to do the bare minimum of just simply keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. I believe Paul said that the law, statutes, and commandments is not grievous. Do you know what is hard to break? Bad habits. Right. So like you got to be more righteous in your righteousness than your wickedness. Right. There's a way to be righteous in your wickedness. It just means that you put time, you put money, you put all that that one word I hate, all that energy. You put all that energy into, that wickedness that you want to do. And you feel like shit afterwards. I get it. Absolutely. But are you a person that is competitive when it comes to serving your God? Are you competitive? Okay, I know one thing. A lot of people don't like to lose a fight. So just think about all your battles. All your battles is a fight. Literally, it is a fight. You are throwing hands with that demon in your mind that wants you to do something that is against God. Like we have stories like the book of Job that gives you the inspiration, the motivation to fight against that demon. Christ, to fight against that demon. Satan told Christ, like, look, I'll give you all of this if you just do this for me. Christ said no. You know what I mean? Christ said, hell no, I'm not doing it. And of course, Christ is rewarded right now. You know what I mean? But meanwhile, like you losing to a fucking cigarette, to weed, crack, to a bottle. I know you lost your family member or your loved one, but sooner or later, you are going to have to get up out of the dust. You can't feel sorry for yourself. And Commander Junior Honda said, don't ever blame yourself for anything. I believe Jeremiah said that about for the past 3 weeks in his classes.
Right.
You have to blame your oppressor. That's why you're on drugs. That's why you have an alcoholism problem. You're so angry at the world and at yourself, you start to you start to hurt yourself. You start to mark your body, tattoos. You start to want to harm other people. You know what I mean? Any way, fashion. You want to talk about people. You want to gossip about them. You want to tear their life down. You want to bully people. You want to have sex with another man's wife. How effeminate and borderline LGBT is that? So once again, these scriptures is going to get into all of that. I mean, the past scriptures in Ezekiel and other books, we have broke this down. And why do we got to keep breaking it down? It's because you have not learned your lesson yet. Once again, this is pertaining to no one specific, but the shoe fits, Cinderella. Salaki.
Right.
Salaki.
Right.
If the shoe fits, it fits. But this is universal practical knowledge.
That's right.
Because a lot of people can hear this. And if you think it's not about you, just look at what you are doing, and maybe it does apply. Maybe I didn't say the thing that you are doing, but it will apply. If you ain't keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, it do apply. If you sin against the Most High, it does apply.
Right.
All right? Let's get that straight. So anyway, so like that was the introduction, all right? We are going to get into more of that. I'm on 28. That should be on 27, right?
Go.
All right, so anyway, back to that, and I'm going to touch on this again because I read this already. In Israel, this is talking about you. So pay attention. The Bible says if you have an ear, damn, what is that? It's Revelations 13 and 9 and 10. If a man has an ear, let him hear.
Right.
All right, paraphrasing, okay? If any man and woman has an ear, let him hear. So in the meantime, pay attention, listen with your ears, clean out all the earwax, get rid of any distractions, and pay attention. All right, go ahead, Salaki.
Ezekiel chapter 27, verse 28 in English, in the King James 16:11. The suburbs shall shake at the sound of the cry of thy pilots, and all that handle the oar. Verse 29, and all that handle the oar.
So for those that do not know, so Ezekiel 27 and 29. So the oar, right? The oar is it's like a long pole that you what was it, like paddle or stir with, and then keep going.
And the mariners.
Right, and those are the people that navigate or assist the ship. Keep going.
And all the pilots of the sea.
Right, and self-explanatory.
shall come down from their ships.
Uh-huh.
They shall stand upon the land.
That's right. Okay.
Verse 30. And shall cause their voice to be heard against thee,
Mm-hmm.
and shall cry bitterly, and shall cast up dust upon their heads. They shall wallow themselves in the ashes.
Wow. This sounds very, very familiar. They shall wallow. You know, I mean, do you know what wallow is, or wailing, or like you said, crying bitterly? That sounds like lament, which is, of course, there's a book by Jeremiah, Lamentation. All right, and we will get that in a second, because this right here so far sounds like sounds like we read earlier in the chapter, and in the previous one as well. Keep going.
Verse 31.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall make themselves utterly bald for thee,
Mm-hmm.
and gird them with sackcloth.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall weep for thee with bitterness of heart and bitter wailing.
Mm.
Verse 32. And in their wailing they shall take up a lamentation for thee.
Right.
And lament over thee, saying, what city is like Tyrus? Like the destroyed in the midst of the sea?
Right. So once again, this is break it down. The lament of, so like, if I may, this is talking about us, right? Mm-hmm. It's not. No. Okay, because it said Tyrus. But no, the first part was talking about us in the earlier in the chapter. No, not right here, but earlier, like way like at the top or the last chapter. But go ahead, slide it.
Saying from last week when we left off, we talked about how like all this shit, how it was all laid up with all this shit.
Oh, okay, how they was losing all this shit.
How they lose everything. So
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
This is a thing doing the lamenting. This is a thing doing
the heathens.
Probably even some of our people too that were in their employ, but because Judah was even in their employ.
Exactly. Right.
But it's talking about just Tyrus and the people that served under him that normally would have benefited from it without losing. So like, it's talking about the cities like Tyrus, like the destroyed in the midst of the sea, because how many people they lost.
Is that like how the kingdom was kind of just falling apart?
Right, not just how and not so much how the kingdom was falling apart, but how many people they lost. They're looking at the numbers.
Oh, I see. Okay. The people that they lost. I mean,
understand they're the size of the city.
Right. Okay.
So like all the handle the war, all the mariners, the pilot, and how they always are against the shall cry bitterly, like they've been talking with the people and everything that they have lost in pursuit of this man's wealth and riches.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got you. All right. Okay. Yeah. Kind. So like it. Now, so everything that we read so far, this is talking about Tyrus, right? Tyrus is not of Israel. They are of a different nation of people. So pretty much this is just talking about how they're just lamenting or in lamentation, they're crying bitterly because of the people that they lost, and it's mentioning the type of people, all the good, how you say it, the valuable people that they lost. All right, that was very once again valuable to Tyrus. So this is stripping down, Tyrus, slowly but surely. Like anytime a big high-powered people or a country gets destroyed, it doesn't happen instantly. It's always a buildup. All right, it slowly happens. You know what I mean? So like for example, Pharaoh lost. I mean, Pharaoh was over Egypt. So many things happened to Egypt before he got destroyed. You know what I mean? If you don't know, read the book of Exodus. You will see it for yourself. You know what I mean? You will just see how all the plagues happen. Read the story of Genesis with Joseph as well. Joseph was, he was Ephraim, right? No,
because Joseph preceded Ephraim.
Okay, but he technically would have kind of no.
Ephraim came after Joseph. Ephraim and Manasseh, Joseph's sons.
Okay. I thought I heard he was Ephraim.
Nah, he couldn't have been Ephraim because his name
was. Or technically, or something like that.
His son was Ephraim.
Oh, I see. Okay.
His son's Ephraim and Manasseh.
Oh, I see what too. Okay, I see. So, okay, got it. Okay. That's what I got mixed up. Okay, I see. All right. Yeah. So Joseph once again was a brother. Read about the story of Joseph in Egypt, and you will see and find out just what he did to save Egypt.
Right.
As far as all the destruction that was to come. But once again, Pharaoh later got destroyed. It happened. Okay, and it's happening right now to Tyrus. It's going to happen to America. It's slowly stripping away. The more of us that come into the UPK, the more of us that change our lives to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. What's going to happen is you're not going to sell drugs. You're not going to do them. You're not going to promote it. You're not going to be a whore.
Right.
Deal with whoredom. You're not going to prostitute yourself. You're not going to talk about people behind the backs.
Right.
You are not going to sleep with other nations that are not your people. All right? You are not going to do a lot of things when you truly keep the law. You can't keep the law, statutes, commandments sometimes. It has to be all the time without fail. You should have no room for sin at all. Once you know the truth, that should be it. All right? Because you spend all your life, majority of your life, just doing wicked things. So now that you know the truth, you should spend the rest of your life, which you don't know the end date of your life. You should spend the rest of your life doing right by the Most High, by keeping this law, statutes, and commandments, because that's what's going to help you and your family. That's what's going to help you and your brother, your sister. And when I say that, I'm talking about your neighbor, your Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people as a whole. Like what Texas did, what Texas did in where's it?
Acuna.
Huh?
Acuna.
So the mission to Acuna, right? What Texas did was so beautiful and powerful.
Right.
They were up against the cartel. The cartel could have killed those brothers and still like just the brothers. Those brothers that were there in Acuna. What is that, Mexico?
Yeah, that's in Mexico, and they were taking the like level 4 danger cartel routes.
Yes, level 4 danger cartel is no joke. No joke. You could try to get your way out of that situation. It's not going to work because they see you as a threat. They see you as an enemy or someone that's trying to, step on their operation. They are going to kill you. There's nothing you could say or do. But the Most High was with Texas.
That's right.
That's right. They was with Texas, man. And we clothed and fed those brothers and sisters down there, man, of all different tribes. You can't tell me that the Lord ain't with us.
That's right.
Meanwhile, when we did it, no one else did it. No one else, put their lives on the line. Everybody was quiet when the ISUK went down there to put our lives on the line. We ain't scared of no goddamn cartels.
That's right.
We ain't scared of anybody but the Lord. We fear him. Because the Bible does say, don't fear a man that can kill the body. Fear the one that can kill the body and the soul in hell. Do you know what in hell is? You being born as a crack baby.
Right.
And you just on drugs and strung out your entire life. Do you also know what hell is? Being born with a birth defect. Like it's so many forms of hell. It's not just poverty. It's not just you being on drugs. Like it's so many forms and devices and so many things that you could think of where a person, when you see them, you know that they are going through hell. Hell is not at the bottom of the earth.
Right.
It's right here on earth. In earth, where you live. It's in Minneapolis, St. Paul. It's in all over. It's in Minnesota, Detroit, Chicago, also like Illinois, you name it, New York, Philadelphia. It's everywhere. It's all around you. But heaven, or at least a piece of heaven, until we get the kingdom, is those laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
And how is that heaven? It's because it eases the pain of being in this captivity. You ain't got to worry about going to jail. You don't have to worry about child support. You don't have to worry about, a wicked woman, a wicked man. You ain't got to worry about, drugs, alcoholism. I mean, there's so many things you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about you raising a child that is going to later either abuse you, disappoint you, or embarrass you. Because nobody wants that as a parent. You raise this child for 18 years, or it's like I say better than that. You raise this child up for many years, right? And they didn't listen to a goddamn thing that you said.
Right.
Or, some of these kids out here are killing their parents. Something was going on in that household to where that child felt like it was okay to unalive their parents. Yeah, man. But anyways, it's like I digress. It's like you got a precept or something?
I'm just looking up a few.
Okay, you want to bring it out because I'm gonna pass it over to you in a second. Because I want to give you some. I forget how.
We didn't approach that.
Okay, so we got 2 more verses left or what?
Yeah, whatever you want to get through.
I'll give you 34 to 36, but can you read 32 again? Okay. Yeah, I think that's where we stop at.
Verse 32. And in their wailing they shall take up a lamentation for thee, and lament over thee, saying, what city is like Tyrus, like the destroyed in the midst of the sea?
Right. So it's asking the question, like, what city is like Tyrus? You know what I mean? Like, look, Tyrus is being destroyed right now, bit by bit, piece by piece. Just like the generals always say, America is falling apart slowly. When you see all this police brutality, and you see all these unaliving of people, just understand that, okay, you might not understand, but you really have to really focus in and pay attention. There's so much happening in the earth right now, more than your problems, your personal problems, that are affecting every single body on the face of the earth, everywhere. Everybody. It's affecting every country, every city, every state. What's happening in the earth is the Most High is crumbling this place piece by piece. You know how you eat some toast and you just eating and it just crumbles piece by piece? That's what's happening to this earth as a whole. That's what's happening to the kingdom of America.
Right.
It's happening to the kingdom of Russia. Like, it's all happening in front of your eyes. But a lot of people won't be able to see it because they're too high. All right. Like, I was talking to a brother one day when COVID first came out. I was asking him about the numbers as far as COVID out there in his state, and he was like, "What is COVID-19?" And I'm like, huh? I'm like, have you watched the news? He's like, no, I don't watch the news. And I'm just like, how do you know what's going on? And then some people have this thing where they think the news is all fake news. I get it, but there are real things happening in the earth that you're going to have to look at and decipher what is true and what is not. And so to make it better for you, watch Commander General Yohana, America on Fire.
Right.
That's going to help you understand what is real news and what is fake news. So I'm talking to this brother about, COVID-19. At this time, as we're talking, COVID-19 been out for like months now, or about a year. And I'm just like, let me ask you a question. What have you been doing recently? I haven't talked to you in a while. I just been chilling on my laptop, just playing, video games, PC games, and I'm saying with my mother, and I just kind of been, like kind of just drinking a lot, and I'm just like that's your problem, like I mean, if you offended, you offended. I don't give a damn because that's what it is. You are so distracted by many things. I'm using this as in general. You out there, you are distracted by many things that you can't focus on what's happening in front of you. If the president said that everybody got to stay in their house, it's going to be a purge. How would you know if you're not paying attention? Because you may go outside thinking like it's a good day to grab some groceries,
Right.
and you are going to end up getting yourself killed out there, or Salaki, unalive out there. You know what I mean? So how would you know if you don't have, if you're not paying attention, man? It does not make sense at all. But anyway, Salaki, I digress. Tyrus is going to be. Tyrus did get destroyed. When you look at the later chapters, as a spoiler alert, Tyrus is going to be ultimately destroyed, just like every other wicked kingdom has been destroyed. And America that you love so much is going to be next. All right, that American dream is going to be a nightmare in a second.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
It's going to be a nightmare in a second. Especially that MLK dream too.
Right.
Shit, that was American dream.
Right.
Yeah, that speech should have been, rewritten. You know what I mean? It really talk about all the lusts and desires of what really he wanted. Okay, wanted for his people and himself. But you gotta go ahead.
Verse 33. And it's like if I could.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of backtrack for a second there. So in 27, earlier in 27, it was talking about everything that Tyrus had at his disposal.
Right.
All the goods, all the merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
And then in verse 26, it talks about how thy rowers have brought thee into great water. So it's like at verse 25, it talks about the ships of Tarshish did sing of thee in thy market, and thou was replenished and made very glorious in the midst of the sea. So, they're singing praises about how lucrative and financially beneficial this relationship is. He's making all these other nations and countries rich. He's got all these different merchant deals with Togarmah and with Judah and with Dan and with Damascus and Javan and all them different places. So I mean they breaking bread with each other.
Right.
But Tyrus is the king, just breaking bread with all these different merchants and all these different countrymen.
Yeah.
And using them for their skill sets and their talents and what the available resources in their range.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of verse 25, you got them kind of singing the praises, like everybody's happy, everybody's merry, everything's going good, everybody's making money.
Right.
They're just like how you see with a lot of drug dealers and hustlers, like when everybody's making money, everybody's happy, everything's good. You see it in Goodfellas and Godfather, and like all the little parties that they got after after successful endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
But then when things go wrong, like it starts off in verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
When it break bad, it break bad. So verse 26, thy rowers have brought thee into great waters. The east wind hath broken thee in the midst of the seas. So now that east wind is often equated with an angel, a spirit from the Most High.
Right.
A destructive spirit from the Most High.
Right.
Coming to destroy things.
Mm-hmm.
Towns, villages, cities, countries, kings.
Right.
In this case, ships in the midst of the seas. 27, thy riches and thy fares, thy merchandise, thy mariners, everything, and thy pilots, thy caulkers, the occupiers of the merchandise, and all thy men of thy ware that are in thee, and in all thy company, which is in the midst of thee, shall fall into the midst of the seas in the day of thy ruin.
Mm-hmm.
So now when the Lord called that east wind to blow on them.
Right.
And they're in the midst of a bountiful harvest. Everybody's bringing everything in from all the different provinces that the king had, at his disposal, and now it's about that time where they fat enough. They're just like Pharaoh, they fat enough to get destroyed.
Right.
So like Adam was reading with verses 28 through 32, talking about how like now it's getting noticed, and now all that praise and all the songs, all the money that got put behind it, and how all that's getting stripped from in this act of destruction.
Right.
Verse 29, all the handle of the oar, the mariners, all the pilots of the sea shall come down from their ships. They shall stand upon the land. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're going to get shipwrecked. They're going to be, what's the term? Now, actually, shipwrecked is a term when they run upon land.
Yeah.
They get shipwrecked.
Yeah, that's right.
Verse 31, they shall make themselves utterly bald. In verse 30, they shall cause their voice to be heard against thee. It's like, and now again, they're kind of finally realizing that, listen, if we weren't doing this for you, we wouldn't even been on this ship.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of almost casting the blame back on dude. Like we only here because of you. And they shall make themselves utterly bald for thee, and gird them with sackcloth, and cry, and blah, blah, blah. And they're wailing, verse 32, and they're wailing, they shall take up a lamentation for thee, and lament over thee, saying, what city is like Tyrus? Like God was saying, what city is like Tyrus? Like the destroyed in the midst of the sea, because of how many of them died.
Right.
And about how, like, all those different occupancies that used to have been prevalent in that kingdom of Tyrus, that were seafaring at that point, got destroyed. So that killed like all their business.
Yeah.
That killed like all their business.
Yeah.
All their ships. And all right, so like if they had a fleet of 20 ships and they kept 5 of them docked, whatever. No, so what, 15 are gone. You're not gonna be able to recoup that off them 5 extra ships. Yeah. Like this was an endeavor that they were like, and again, you can equate this to modern day hustling. Drug dealers. Drug dealers going in for like that big final score.
Yeah.
Like this is the one that's gonna make them rich, and now they can do business for themselves.
Yeah.
And then something went wrong, and east wind blew.
Yeah.
And knocked all your cocaine off the table.
Yeah.
All them bullets from all them guns started flying all about the room. All them tempers from all them drunk and drugged up individuals started showing themselves. And now it's chaos. Where at first you had the prospect of making money, and everything sounded good. Because Tyrus made it sound real good. Because everything looked good in this kingdom. America looks really good. America, the land of opportunity. You can do anything you want. Well, until verse 33, when thou went forth out of the sea, when thou filledest many people, thou didst enrich the king of the earth. So again, when business was good, it made everybody money. He was still the top dog. He was still the king, but his rulership, his hold on that region, he was able to do business, make everybody money around.
Yeah.
Make allies, business relationships. Again, modern day examples. You got mobsters with judges in their pockets, and politicians that are linked up with criminals, and not only gangbangers, but drug dealers and hitmen and other nefarious criminal activities, human trafficking, sex trafficking, all that shit.
If I may, who's very big in sex trafficking? You got to mention the pastors, the preachers, the senators for sure, the Congress people. Let me see, politicians, so-called leaders of the community, of the states. Yeah. Like once again, like it was one. I forget his name, man. It was a Caucasian senator. He has been around for such a long time, but they gave him like over 5 years of probation of because of sex trafficking. Like not even jail or prison. They gave him over 5 years of probation.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, like that's how you handle an issue. You know, it's crazy. But meanwhile, they gave years in jail for a black man for unaliving a canine dog, a police dog, because the police dog was attacking him for no reason. So he gets years in prison or in jail. But meanwhile, this senator in the same year, this is exactly in the same year, and the senator gets probation for sex trafficking. Which one is more of a offense? Which more sounds like you should really be in punishment for? Sex trafficking, man, because a lot of bodies are dropping. A lot of unlawful acts is happening to the people that are part of the sex trafficking. Like, come on, man. Look, once again, just like Tyrus, right? America is going to be destroyed piece by piece. Piece by piece, man. And before it's utterly destroyed, what you need to do as a people, man, you got to get yourself right. Because otherwise you are going to be a part of the destruction. And I pray that you don't understand what that means, man. And in the UPK, our goal is not to see that, what is it, 2/3? We are not trying to see those 2/3. We're trying to see zero of our people be a part of that destruction. But if you still want to get high and do what you do because you're a grown man, you're a grown woman. Because, it's just life. Live your life because we're all going to die. If you want to do all of that, no sweat. No sweat. Just understand everything comes with a price. Everything comes with a price. If you don't understand what that means, get in class.
That's right.
Get in class. Everything is not as simple and straightforward as you think. That American dream is not for everybody. It's for a specific people. All right. It has a face. It has a name. It has a race. How about that?
Right.
Okay. It's not for everybody. Right. If you are a so-called Black, Latino, Native Indian, man, spiritually get out of America. Don't celebrate the holidays because they have nothing to do with you. And better yet, if you are a Negro, a Latino, and Native Indian, celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas, you are a fool.
Right.
Because here's facts. After let me see, after the whole thing about Thanksgiving, the true history about Thanksgiving, about 200 to 250 years later, Negroes was on boats. Have you ever heard of the transatlantic slave trade? Do your history, man. Do your research. Come on now, do your research. The transatlantic slave trade happened afterwards with the whole situation with the Native Indians. You probably wouldn't know that because you don't know your history.
Right.
You probably learned it from, the school board, American school boards. Okay? Like, come on now, 200 years later, 250 years later, like, Negroes was on boats, and Hispanics, and natives as well. Everybody should be offended at this point and be mad. I don't think y'all get it, but it's like, I'll let you go ahead. It's like, you want to bring something else? So like, as far as design,
you've done as far as, like, I was just looking at
No, I'm done my part. I'll let you ride.
Okay. So just like some of the things that we were talking about with the different criminal activities that they was doing. So if you go back to Ezekiel 27 verse 13, Javan, Tabal, Meshach, they were thy merchants. They traded the persons of men. The persons of men. That's human trafficking. That's sex trafficking right there. That's slavery right there. It's clear cut right in the Bible too. They traded the persons of men.
that's still relevant to today.
Ooh,
like all these different nations are doing the same thing today too. So let's not act like 2, 4, 5, 10, 20 million thousand years ago that this Bible was written supposedly by a lot of people's different numbers. We don't think it's that far in the UK, but no matter how many hundreds of thousands of years or thousands of hundreds of years that this was written, it's still applicable to today's times, where we're facing the same adversaries, the same problems, same conditions. Different technologies are being utilized. That's what make everything look so different.
Right.
Everything's still the same.
Right.
So now jumping into,
if I may,
good.
No, based on what you just said, I mean, goddamn, I just mentioned sex trafficking, and now that's in there. So Joel chapter 3, verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink.
Sex
Come
trafficking.
on, man.
That's sex trafficking.
Come on, man. This is happening today, man.
Sex trafficking. That's human sex trafficking. That's human trafficking. That's sex trafficking.
Right.
They're synonymous.
Right.
If you're selling humans, like sex trafficking, sexual deviancy is being applied there too.
Right.
They're not just doing it for labor. They're doing it for all types of labor.
It sounds like slavery to me.
It sounds like slavery. It sounds like human trafficking. It sounds like sex trafficking. It sounds like the same thing that we've dealt with.
That's right.
That we've been dealing with.
And all the people that talk about slavery was in the past, no, it's still here today. All the same acts and tactics of slavery is still here today.
ICE agents, your detention centers,
right?
All of a sudden, 4,500 kids,
right?
Not adults, children go missing.
What's it called? Concentration camps.
They call them detention centers, but yeah, concentration camps, reservations, more or less. And this was all around that whole Epstein Island time era too. Like the rise and fall of that, Pizzagate. You know what I'm saying? Like all this information getting brought out, like it ain't no coincidence. And now, the same way that these acts were committed then, and it was recorded, the same thing that was going on right now. Not everything under the sun is a conspiracy theory. Yes, there's contaminants in the water supply. Yes.
Yeah.
Pollutants in the air. Okay. Yeah. The GMO. Yeah.
Right.
The healthcare system, public school systems. Yes. There's some corruption in there. Behind the governments, your local, state legislatures, like all that, from the ground on up. Yes, absolutely.
I'll give you another one. You are being watched always. Yeah. You are being watched. Yes. Yep. Yeah. Everything got a camera in it. Damn near.
Your Wi-Fi signal. Yeah.
Yeah. Your Wi-Fi. Yeah. You
got the chip.
Yeah. This webcam has a camera, of course, because you can see us. Yes. Like once again, he's saying everything right. We'll go ahead, slide.
But not everything was like, how would I say, they bring forth such perceivably extreme situations that would almost seem like that can't be possible.
Right.
It's possible. The things that they do behind closed doors, I don't even want you to use your imagination.
Yeah.
Just listen to what we're telling you. And then you ain't gotta share that same burden either. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about the problems that are identified in the Bible, consistent with what we face today, and the solutions that are given in the Bible, consistent with what would solve our problems today, just maybe give it a shot. At least check it out. You're done tried and failed at everything else. At least give this one a go, and give it an honest go. Don't go to church. Don't just say some hallelujahs and 20 Hail Marys and act like it's going to be okay. This nation is getting destroyed as we speak, the same way that Tyrus nation is getting destroyed, as they spoke back then.
Right.
Like these were contemporary times when Ezekiel was living, and what he was given privy to, it ain't no different than what we're experiencing right now. All these major powers that are making all these big moves that are being destroyed by their own greed, their own selfishness, their criminal activities against the Lord's people. That black and white. Like in them cases, ain't no conspiracy theories behind it. It's just that black and white. And we're reading about some of these records. So it's important to just, get in class. Take it with a grain of salt if you want to also, if that makes it better. Right. But at least get in the class. Take a few of them. See what it is.
Oh yeah, by the way, it's completely free.
Completely free.
It's free 99.
Pay your tithes.
There you go.
Pay your tithes, though.
That is a law. 10% of any earnings that you have as an increase.
But if you want to rob, also.
Will a man rob God? Yeah.
We ain't gonna force no crown on nobody head.
Yeah. Look. No one is going to rip the pockets of your pants for those tithes.
Right.
The Most High is going to curse you if you do not decide to put your money where it needs to be. Tithes is for the nation of Israel. It's not for your plug. It's not for all your all your filthy subscriptions, if you know what I mean. It's not for I don't know, like
a rap guru, aka the quilt.
You know what? It's not for the palm readers and the fortune tellers. It's not for none of that. All right. That money should be well spent. Like,
it's not for matching T-shirts. So like,
yeah. You know what I mean? Like, of course, use your money how you want to, but also too, where your heart is also where your money is. You know what I mean? I'm paraphrasing, of course, a little bit. But yeah, I'm paraphrasing, of course. You know what I mean? But where your heart is, that's where you're going to put your money at. All right? Wherever your money goes, that's where your heart is. Whether it be food, drugs, alcohol, whether it be, I don't know. I mean, whatever you're buying, I mean, you might want 1,000 books. You know what I mean? So, I mean, but it all depends what is lawful and what is not lawful. All right, because you may have a problem with how you spend your money, okay? Or and it's not just always about money too. It's just whatever you put your time into, that's where your heart is at.
Right.
So that determines, where your heart is at. So yeah, so and once again, also too, as a teaching lesson, be careful what you put your time into. All right. Because some things can be a distraction, some things cannot be a distraction at all. But yeah, like ain't nothing wrong with having pleasure in reading books, watching TV, but don't let TV take up your time with studying. You socializing a lot, take up time from the Most High. You know what I mean? Don't forget about the Most High and your job, your duty. Because that pertains to your God, all right? You know what I mean? Like of course, the Most High gives you the satisfaction of many things, all right? To the human species, but at the same time, do not forget about your power, your God. Don't forget that He is the reason that you got this.
Right.
All right? You got this place. You got this woman. You got these children, just anything, you know what I mean? So, you want to be very careful of that. Don't forget to give the glory to the Most High.
That's right.
All right. Don't forget about that. Okay. But once again, don't let things distract you too much to where you just fall off the grid. You want to be very mindful, be very careful of that. Because what happened to Ezekiel? He put his wife first, and his wife died. Don't put nothing before the Most High. Okay? Don't put that TV, them drugs, them
Christmas,
holidays, them kids, anything before the Most High. Okay? Like don't do it. And also too, ain't nothing wrong with fasting. All right? Ain't nothing wrong with fasting either. You can fast from social media. Ain't nothing wrong with that. TV, sex, socialize and always going to the club. You can always fast from that too. You just want to drink all the time. Hey, you can fast from that too. Now drugs, however, you can't do drugs at all. So you should never be doing it. I mean, once again, these holidays, you should never be doing it. Birthdays, birthday months, you should never be doing it because it's not of the Lord. Okay. Once again, you can still have fun serving the Most High. Last time I checked, we had a good ass time during Purim.
That's right.
For 2 days straight,
Right.
without fail. It was amazing. It was glorious, and the Most High was definitely with us, and everybody else who celebrated Purim in the UPK. All right. So anyway, but that was it on that.
As far as just what I was saying.
Mm-hmm. Or no.
All right, so verse 33.
Oh, it's a lot. I thought we still was that.
Yeah,
You got it.
just recap. Now, whereas went forth out of the sea, thou fillest many people, and thou didst and enriched the kings of the earth. So again, you know, when your import-export business was doing good, everybody was making money with the multitude of thy riches and of thy merchandise. Verse 34. In the time when thou shalt be broken by the sea in the depths of the waters, thy merchandise and all thy company in the midst of thee shall fall. Everybody going down in that ship with you. Verse 35.
Shipwreck.
All the inhabitants of the isle shall be astonished at thee, and their king shall be sore afraid, and they shall be troubled in their company. Mm-hmm. They gonna blame you. When America falls, those arrogant and selfish and cowardly individuals, they're all gonna blame Biden or Trump or Obama, the Bush administration. They're gonna go back to the Reagan era, Nixon, the Kennedys. They're gonna blame their leadership for what happens to them, to their pockets, to their families. They're gonna blame the people that they follow, knowing good and damn well who they were following and for what purpose they were following. These individuals were following for money,
right?
For financial gains,
right?
Not caring where they're getting this resource from. Like today, like if you see the cobalt or lithium mines, it's those are terrible conditions that them people are living in.
Yeah.
To get
right.
those resources for these people, for these merchants. It wasn't no different back then either. You needed people that they didn't have cranes. They ain't even using cranes today. They got the machinery to do it. They ain't using backhoes and dumpster or damn. I don't know why it escapes me right now. But they're not using a whole lot of modern day technology. They still using manpower, kids, women, and children.
Yeah.
To dig that ore up.
Right.
They did the same thing with the emeralds, with the diamonds. The same thing when they needed people to dye their clothing, to pick all the cottons and all the fibers and things like that to make all their cloth, shearing all them sheep, to raise all them sheep. They're making money off of other people's labor that they paying them. Today we'd say like pennies on the dollar. Mm-hmm. They're paying them nothing, next to nothing. And then they got a full-time job and they still can't make ends meet, barely make their rent. Still got to apply for rent assistance. Still got to apply for WIC, SNAP,
Section
8, all that. Working a full-time job.
Right.
And then you can't even keep your family together.
2 jobs.
Yeah, if you got the time to it, like otherwise that one job taking up everything. Some of them don't even give overtime like that.
And plus you got kids, you got family members that you got to attend to that are sick. I mean, just you got a whole life of problems. A whole much on your plate.
So now they're experiencing this. They're experiencing this downfall. Mm-hmm. Everything that they put into that business is getting crushed by that east wind.
Right.
Where does that east wind always come from? The Most High.
Yeah, right. And that's why we face the east.
Yeah, so,
mm-hmm.
Yes, Jerusalem.
face the east.
Right. Huh?
He faced the east, but
No. So, yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. So yeah, we face the east because of Jerusalem. So once again, that's why the brother said that's that east, like that east wind, where that comes from. I mean, of course, it's from the Most High. So yeah, we face the east because of our old home, and our old home is going to be restored soon once Yahweh Shai kicks out those heathens out of our homeland, because right now it's garbage, it's tampered with, it's filthy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because as you know, if you are a Black Hispanic Native Indian who knows that you are an Israelite and that Jerusalem, Israel is our homeland, no sweat. But you don't have to go back there, because you'll be like a second citizen?
It's a third-class citizen.
Oh, a third-class citizen. You know what I mean?
I mean, so I think Cat normally uses the for second-class citizen.
Yeah, because someone has power over that right now. You know what I mean? It's not us anymore. Israel doesn't run that no more. Although it's still called Jerusalem, Israel, it's not ran by the Israelites. It's ran by heathens. You know what I mean? So once again, we still pray to the east because that's what's in the Bible. That's what the Most High told us, and that's what we are going to continue to do. You know what I mean? If you're facing anywhere else, you're probably praising another God or praying to another God, and yeah, I don't know, but sounds crazy. But anyway, it's like
good. That merchandise and all that company in the midst of these shall fail. In the midst of these shall fail, shall fall. So again, America's gonna witness the destruction to Tyrus. In this case, he was witnessing the destruction.
Oh yeah.
Getting back all these reports like this ship sank, 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 and and he had money behind that, and he was making other people's money. So if again, they were only doing his biddings. He was like the that Walmart super center. You know what I'm saying? Getting everything from all these different people, making everybody money on the side, but they were only doing any of this because of that Walmart super center. All those different brand names were only producing things like that to ship to that Walmart super center. These people were only buying and selling with each other, fabricating all these products, making all these different linens and all these different Tupperware, silverware, things like that. They were only doing all this because of King Tyrus' order and because of his wants and his needs and his business. Everybody else was just kind of along for the ride, making money off of it. But now, in the midst-city, these shall fall. Verse 35, all the inhabitants of the isle shall be astonished at thee, and their king shall be sore afraid, and they shall be troubled in their countenance. So now again, they're gonna look at you like what are you like damn, like what happened? Like did you lose your game? Did you make an enemy? Are you no longer good at this business? They're going to look at you questioning your rulership and your capabilities of getting that job done. That again was normally just making everybody money. The kings are going to be so afraid. Can we trust you? Are you going to protect us if something were to fall? Like a compensation? Because they had people that relied on them too. So now them kings are going to get blamed by their people because they people were relying on that income also. Verse 36, the merchants among the people shall hiss at thee. So there was one time when the merchants they were singing a damn song. They were singing praises and all that. Now they lamenting. And now they hissing at you. Now they mad. Where's my money? Like, all right, I know some ships crashed, no sweat. Where's my money? Like they're not gonna just give up on that. They still want what they feel is due to them because of their loss also. because they were doing only all of this for Tyrus. They never would have been at sea if it wasn't for dude.
That's right.
Thou shalt be a terror, and never shall be any more. Like this was. There are so many businesses, countries, and governments and organizations that fall off of one failed deal. If one thing goes wrong, one major play goes wrong, the damage it's insurmountable. Like everybody suffers. All your constituents, everybody that you thought had your back at the time, everybody taking that loss with you.
Right.
But now they're going to be looking up to you because, again, you're the one that employed them. Cyrus was the one that put all these people to work, to task, that paid all their wages, that made all of them money. Now, one of his biggest shipments just blown out to sea by that east wind. Yeah, there's a different term than the one that I'm thinking of. I know shipwreck is one, but there's a different term that I'm thinking of that I can't quite grasp. But landlocked, maybe that's it. Some along them terms.
Okay.
But this mission failed, and this was King Tyrus' downfall. Lost so much money on this deal because of this east wind. All these merchants going in all these different directions for all these different purposes. That east wind came in and knocked that whole mission out. Now everybody's sitting there scrambling and blaming him again, looking up at him. Now they hissing. At one time they were singing. Now they lamenting, and now they hissing at him.
Right.
They're hissing like that. That's a sign of like rebellion, revolt. They mad at him. Like they want their money back.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever insurance policies that they may have signed, like they trying to cash that in. Right. And dude's gonna be, at a major loss. So again, we witnessing the rise and the fall of a kingdom right here. Don't confuse 20 or 2,000, 4,000, 5,000 years ago with 2023. Don't act like they ain't the same.
Right.
Is what I'm trying to get at. Don't dismiss them from each other. As they always say, and everybody pretty much agrees with, history repeats itself.
Right.
So that's and like they always want to blame. They always want to like say that for the different prophecies in the Bible. They always want to say, well, it happened here, happened there, happened here, happened there. All right, no, so well, don't excuse this then either. This happened here. It's gonna happen again.
Right.
It's just gonna be happening to somebody else. Tyrus is long gone. So now the next people in them shoes is gonna happen with them too. And now we may have seen this a couple times before also. The Cold War with Cuba and the Russians. There's a number of things that could mirror things like this, instances like this. Or one good one I guess I would compare it to is before quite during the transatlantic slave trade, when they were robbing the Caribbean islands in South America of all their treasures, of all their gold, going back to England and Spain, them ships getting wrecked because of how much that they were carrying. I'm pretty sure there was an east wind during that time too.
Oh yeah.
So, it's not. We ain't talking out of context.
Right. When
we're reading the Bible.
Right.
We can just equate that to modern times and terms that people they're afraid of. Don't be afraid of the truth. I know it can be daunting and upsetting and triggering for a lot of people. A lot of words that I guess we ain't really supposed to use on it. But it can be a trigger for a lot of people. If you want to see how you can be conditioned for it, ISUPK.com. If you want to look how you can overcome those fears, ISUPK.com. If you want to look to see how you can serve the Most High, if that's genuinely in your heart, ISUPK.com. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, you got an ailment, you got an addiction, you got you yourself or a relative or loved one locked up in the prison systems, ISUPK.com.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody trapped up on the reservations in the ghettos and the hoods, ISUPK.com. If you're unhappy with the way you see things going, ISUPK.com. And we got a little something for everybody. So
that's right. Passover. Passover, April 1st. Can't wait. Be there or be square. All right. April 1st. We've been speaking about it for months and months and months. It's coming up right around the corner. What 4 weeks now? The end of the month?
less.
Yeah, he said less. Okay, yeah. Right. So Passover, April 1st. Of course, everything is happening before April 1st. What is it? The 29th,
I think, is when the first events are kicking off.
Yes.
The kids' party, I believe, on the 29th.
We have the plantation
tour, the Black Wall Street tour.
Yeah. We have the concert.
We got the reggae party.
Yeah.
The all black party.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Use some 11 bread. At least that starting day.
Yeah. That's what April 2nd. Yeah. So a lot of this is going on. It's happening. Yeah. So it's a lot going on. Stay tuned. Otherwise, catch us on Tuesday. All right. Otherwise, we are going to be dropping content every day up until reels, posts, articles, so on and so forth. All right. So
with that, see you in the Sabbath service of Maggie. Stand. While y'all go down, turn face to east. So the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, you can find it in Matthew chapter 6, verse 8 through 13. Abanaw. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Hayah. Shabkat. Yahweh. Malakutka. Taba'ah. Rakazaka. Hayah. Aisha. Barak. Kawak. Hayah. Bashemayim. Latabnanaw. Lakum. Ko. Yawam. Wasalaknanaw. Kabawatnaw. Kasalaknaw. Kabawatinaw. Bola'at. Tabiyanaw. Balasawam. Abol. Hoshana. Mayam. Right. Kayab. Lakat. Amalakwa. Wa'ala. Bahata Parat. Lawalomia. Aman.
in English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. On earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not to temptation. But deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. Amen.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha. Ayun. Al-Hahari. Mayun. Yela'at. Azari. Mayum. It's like a mine. Yahweh. Aisha. Shemayim. Baratas. Ayutan. Lamwat. Bagog. Al-Yalamam. Shamak. Anat. La'at. Yalamam. Wala'at. Yayushan. Shawamal. Yashad. Yahweh. Shamak. Yahweh. Zolka. Aliyah. Yam. Yawamam. Ashmat. La'at. Yakika. Wayarah. Layla. Yahweh. Yashamak. Korah. Yashamak. Atnafash. Yahweh. Yashamak. Hazad. Wa'at. Ma'ait. Wa'at.
In English, I will lift up mine eyes.
I will lift up mine eyes.
To the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help comes from the Lord.
Lord,
which made heaven and earth.
made heaven and earth.
You will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
When I suffer thy foot to be moved,
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
he that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Yasha'Allah
he that keepeth
shall
Yahshua,
neither slumber nor sleep.
sleep, slumber, no sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy
The
keeper.
Lord is thy shade upon thy right
The
hand.
Lord is thy shade upon thy right
The
hand.
sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by
nor
night.
the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all
The
evil.
Lord shall preserve thee from all
He
evil.
shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy
The
soul.
Lord shall preserve thy going
The
out
Lord shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in.
and thy coming in.
From this time forth,
From this time forth,
and forevermore.
and forevermore. Prayer for the cock, the power and evil. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
Baruch Yusha.
Yahushua.
The thunder
The thunder.
the cock,
The cock.
the cock.
The cock.
Lara Fa'ah.
Apa'ah.
Kol Makulah.
Kalah.
Wakon Marawah.
Come to walk.
The cock.
The cock.
The Tahar.
Latahar.
Hamakazari.
Hamazari.
The cock.
The cock.
The Hakwi.
The haki.
Hamak.
Hamak.
The cock.
The cock.
Arakawah.
Arakawah.
Atamala.
Atamala.
The Garson.
Darsh.
Hashem Yahushua.
Hashem Yahushua.
Guadalma.
In English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
Yahushua.
Please give us this.
Yes.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness.
Power to heal all manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against the spirits.
To cast them out.
Cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. Pray to bless Israel and the evil. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
Barak Lanau.
Rakanah.
Bayashah.
Bayashah.
Babayah.
Babayah.
Safari.
Safari.
Barak.
Barak.
Rafa'ah.
Rafa'ah.
Magun.
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 At this time, you can still say the name of loved one once, and we'll repeat that name once. Follow us on social media, type in the name of a loved one, we'll send the prayers up with you.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yahweh Shah.
Yahushua.
The angels.
The angels.
The generals.
Generals.
The captains.
Captains.
The officers.
Officers.
Troopers.
Troopers.
The students.
Students.
The sisters.
Sisters.
The children.
Children.
All of Israel.
All of Israel.
I came Minnesota.
As you came in the soul.
Israel School UPK.
Last school you became.
All of Israel.
All of Israel.
Marakapah.
Rakapah.
Marakapah.
Rakapah.
Sapara.
Sapara.
Sister South Dakota.
South Dakota.
Tazayah.
Taziyah.
Yapah.
Yapa.
Azara.
Azar.
Kawana.
Kawana.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Shirah.
Shirak.
All of Israel.
All of Israel.
Kawanyala.
Kwanyala.
Amagabar.
Magabar.
Kanagabar.
Nagabar.
Kodasayam.
Dazayam. Makari.
Makad. All of Israel.
All of Israel.
Aisha Green.
Aisha Green.
Family. Family. Kodasayam.
Family Kodazayam.
Officer Kanaya Gabar.
Officer Kwanaya Gabar.
And his family.
And his family.
Aisha Stevens.
Aisha Stevens.
The family of Amagabar.
Family of Magabar.
Captain Shapar Napash.
Captain Sapar Napash.
All of Israel.
All of Israel. Hashem Yahushua.
Washim Yahushua.
Tuadama.
Tuadama. In English, Lord, in the name of Yahushua.
Lord, in the name of Yahushua.
Bless us in Yahshua.
Bless us in Yahshua.
In the school.
In the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect.
Protect.
Love us.
Love them.
In the name of
In the
Yahushua.
name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Allahayim.
Allahayim.
Adam Yalaka.
Adam Yalaka.
Alta Kurak.
Atakaras.
Walta Squat.
Go the squad.
Oh.
Oh.
Yana.
Yana.
Wabi.
Kawabi.
Yaham Yawan.
Yaham Yuan.
Ra'ash.
Ra'as.
Alamak.
Mak.
Yahwiyam.
Yahu.
Sawad.
Sawad.
Oyata Yaitazu.
Wayata Rataz.
Altaza Pawani.
Atatu Pony.
Amal.
Amal.
Lakawa.
Atwa.
Monikak Kidam.
Kakidam.
Magawi.
God.
Wala Aya Sakar.
Allah Yaskar.
Sham Yasha'al.
Sham Yasha'al.
Iwad.
Iwad.
Kayat.
Tia.
Nawa Aitazu.
Nawa Taz.
Labat.
Laba.
Kikad.
Ikat.
Ayak.
Ayat.
Ayat.
Barayat.
Yakarat.
Yakarat.
Ahali.
Ahali.
Arwam.
Ahawam.
Waya Shemai Aliyam.
Wayashma Aliyam.
Mawab.
Ma'ab.
Hagari, Gabal, Wa'amawan, Wa'amalak, Parashat, Am Yeshab, Tazawar, Damashawar, Nalawat, Amam, Hayawa, Zarawat, Abanyawat, Salah, Ashalaham, Kamadi, Kasiyah Sara'at, Kayabi, Manakal, Oyashwan, Nashamara, Ayandar, Aywa, Daman, Ladam, Shatam, Nariyamal, Karab, Wakisa'ab, Wakisabak, Wakitazalmanai, Kana Seakam, Bashar, Amar, Nai Rashat, Nanwa, Nawa, Allahayim, Allahayat, Shatam, Kagobla, Kwash, Apanya Rakat, Ka'ash, Tabariyah, Bakalab, Kalahat, Haryam, Kantaradab, Saru, Obasupat, Tabalam, Mala'at, Panyam, Palawan, Wayabakwash, Shamka, Yahweh, Yabash, Wayabahal, Adiyai, Wayakapar, Wayabadu, Wayadayu, Kiyata, Shamka, Yahweh, Labaka, Aliwan, Kal, Rapisa.
And then he was speaking out outside. Oh,
Yahweh.
Hold out thy peace. Be not still. Oh, Yahweh. Below. The enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee. And lift up the head. They have taken crafty counsel. Against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden. They have said. Come. Let's cut them off from being a nation. That the name of Yahshua may be no more in remembrance. But they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom. And the Israelites. Of Moab. Hagarim. Gabal. And Amalek. The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Shore also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as to the Midianites. As the Sisera. As the Jabin. At the brook of Kison. Which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make the nobles like a reed. And like Zeb. Yea. Are the prince as a bow. And as a moon. Who said, let's take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. On my power. Make it like a wheel. As a stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth the wood. As the flames set the mountains on fire. So pursue them with thy tempest. And make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. O Lord. Let them be confounded in trouble forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame and perish. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. And all things living. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh. Listen to us now. Right now. So he was a curse. Punishment and destruction. To the heathen. That speak against us. Like prophets. The teachers. The princes. The priests. The Israelite brothers. In the school. So he was a curse. Punishment and destruction. To the heathen. And shake loose. The treasure of the rich of Israel. That refused to give to us. That refused to give to the school. Force their riches. Into thy sanctuary. And he was a curse. And punishment and destruction. To the Edomites. And the nations. And their drug dealers. The court system. The prison system. Planned Parenthood. All the governments of our enemies. Amalek synagogues and armies. Roman Catholic Church. The Pope. Islam. Christianity. Egyptology. Militia. Ku Klux Klan. Aryan Nation. Skinheads. Proselytizers. Gaming. Lesbians. Spies. Works of witchcraft. That's a space program. Army. Navy.
Navy,
Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet, and airways, cable access channel, and radio channel, convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen, and stand in the way, try to stop us, broadcast your word, throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plague. Cause it to go to and fro. To the earth and consume it. Let the plague shake the house of the thief. And the murderer. Let Yahweh shine. Michael and Gabriel. Down to flying saucers. Punish all the heathens. That come up against us. As we speak thy word. Cause it be known by all. That is the angels that have done it. Cause it spread to the media. Throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you always. So be it. Yahweh Shai Shai. Yahweh Shai Shai. Rakia.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua, yeah. Salt the front.
Shalom, Israel. That's the Sabbath service. Shalom.